Good afternoon and happy Friday, everybody. I realize that this is a little unusual. Uh, Normally, I'm uploading a video at this time. I wanted to do something a little different. Got a new computer, Windows laptop, and wanted to check it out and try to see what it would be like to live stream from the laptop. T-Town Mary Ellen, I'm glad you're here. I owe you an apology. When you were on the live stream the other night at the Speedway, you got timed out, and I didn't realize it until after I got home and was looking at some of the statistics. I don't live stream a lot, so I have Nightbot act as a mod on the channel, and he timed you out because you sent a bunch of emojis, and I didn't realize that it was set to do that. I do apologize, and I have fixed it so you can emoji to your heart's content, at least up to 20 or so. Anyway, hey Bob, thanks for being here. Yeah, this is kind of a new thing. This way I don't have to set up the telephone and the stabilizer and everything. I can just get on a laptop. I had to get a new laptop. I got some things I have to do that require Windows. I'm not super happy about it since I'm an Apple guy. But anyway, I want to introduce my guest star today. Looky there, people. Minnie decided to join us for our live stream. This is our Christmas topper. And we got a new Christmas tree this year. And it was a little smaller than what we had before, and she's too big. She won't sit up there on top of the tree anymore. So anyway, on with the show, as they say. Normally I would be uploading a video, but I decided to do this instead. Thanks, Bob. Hey, Caesar, how are you? Welcome. Been back from Disney a little over a month now, and I've been kind of reflecting on my trip. In fact, I was going to call this stream Why I Hate Disney, but as everybody knows, we really don't hate Disney. I did have a few annoyances while we were there that I wanted to kind of talk about. Besides the normal things that annoy people, like everybody just stopping in the middle of a walkway to talk about something, or walking 20 abreast and you can't get past them. One thing that I had trouble with, I had knee replacement surgery about 5 years ago. So naturally, I set off every metal detector I go through. And most everyone at Disney was very cool with that. I mean, I could walk up, say, explain to them, I'm going to set it off. We had knee replaced, and all of them were very cool about it everywhere except Hollywood Studios. When I went in Hollywood Studios, every time, it didn't matter what guard was there, they always said, oh, your knees won't set off our metal detector. We've got it set so that just won't happen. And every time I walked through, it set it off, and they wanted me every time. And geez, guys, at least get on the same page. I mean, talk to some other security guards. They know what's going on and didn't have any trouble. The other thing that really bothered me, and I've been an amateur radio operator for, 25 years now. And in ham radio, it's very, very important to have good quality audio. And even on YouTube, I mean, people can put up with a little flaky video as long as the audio's good. If the audio's crummy, they're going to tune out. So hopefully mine's okay. So numerous times at Disney this trip, on rides, attractions, boat rides, their audio was terrible. I know I'm an old fart and my hearing's going, but you really couldn't understand what they were saying half the time. Being a tech guy, I knew what the problem, and then the cast members sit and eat the microphone, and you can't understand what they're saying. Only one time we were on a boat ride from studios back to Yacht Beach, and they had everything set up perfectly. You could understand every word he said. And they just really need to train their cast members better. If they're going to have the gain on the audio amp turned up, fine. Hold the mic down about here, away from your mouth. Those two things really struck me. We had a fabulous trip. We met tremendous people that I wish we'd had time to meet some more. Excuse me. Or that there were some more there for us to meet. We got to live stream with Josh and Jenna for the whole Friday night live stream and a couple of times on their 24-hour stream. We got to meet Thomas Ever After for the first time. We got to meet Corey Meets World, Orlando Theme Park 360, Nick, Magical News Live. It was great meeting him. Got to meet his parents. It was just a fun trip, even though it was more YouTube than it was Disney vacation. But I guess when we start doing that, that's what it amounts to. Had some great food. Loved Toy Story Land. Slinky Dog was just amazing. The one thing that was really kind of funny is while Slinky Dog was really good, you got to have a fast pass or wait forever to get in. We got to ride Alien Swirling Saucers twice, and that ride is just such a kick. I filmed it, although I haven't edited the video and put it up yet. Lori, I think, filmed it for a while. It's just all in all a very fun ride, and the theming is outstanding. The quick service restaurant wasn't bad, although it's super busy and really tough to get a table. And if it's hot, there's not near enough shade. But anyway, maybe they can fix that. Or maybe when Galaxy's Edge opens up, they'll everybody will go there and Toy Story won't be so busy, or everywhere else as far as that goes. Excuse me. I learned that in live streaming, you really need to have something to drink while you're doing it. Other news that's going on in my life, the channel is creeping up slowly in subscribers. I think I'm like 230 some odd. We do have a couple of neat things we may try to give away. I think we're going to have a giveaway when I hit 300. So anybody so inclined, give me a shout out and that'll help me get there. Oh, hi, Belle. I didn't notice you. I should have said hi to you sooner. My fault. I loved your stream the other day going through the security in Epcot. That was really good. I understand the difficulties of that. Let me see. Oh, another thing. This makes my second live stream in a week now, which is really unusual for me. I never went live much because I never really felt like, I don't know, maybe nobody paid it one. I didn't have anything interesting to say. Maybe that's a good way to put it. And I know that's not true. I'm kind of being hard on myself. But I am thinking about going live a little more often if anybody's interested in sitting around and listening to me talk. Maybe, all right, Johns, how are you? Maybe not every week like a lot of people do, or every day like a lot of people do. Oh, thank you, Caesar. That's my radio announcer's voice. It comes from many years of talking on amateur radio. Maybe once a month or so. would be helpful if all of you guys maybe could throw out some topics at me now and then, the things you would like me to talk about. I'm fairly knowledgeable on Disney World. We go there at least once a year. We try to go twice a year, but I don't have all the money in the world anymore. But one of these days, I want to be like Pirate Princess Red. How are you? It's just me today. Lori's still at work. Like I said on a live stream the other day, she has to work to support me in the manner to which I wish to become accustomed. Actually, she's really looking forward to retiring, although she's got a few years to go yet, since she is a little bit younger than I am. We have plans if we can afford it, and I keep living and so on and so forth. That's morbid. We're going to try to winter in the Orlando area. She had considered maybe getting a job at Disney part-time. Me, I don't want to work any more than I have to, because I put in my 40 some odd years. So I can just go to the parks every day. I could be Arjons and go to the parks all the time. I don't know if you guys know that much about me. I'm an amateur radio operator. I've mentioned that. Hey, Ross, welcome. I had a really interesting career. Kind of bounced from job to job as a teenager and young adult, and worked at a Burger Chef restaurant next door to a miniature golf course. And the guy that ran the miniature golf course would let me play for free if I would feed him for free. And he offered me a job one day, and I ended up working for him for almost 30 years. And when the video game craze came, I loved video games. Of course, I love all things technology. So I started repairing all the video games for him and did that for 30 years. And then when he and I parted company, I went to work for a video game distributor. And so I would travel all over central Indiana to arcades repairing commercial video games. And of course, I got to play a lot for free, which is kind of the perk. And all the kids in the game rooms and stuff would come up and say, "Hey, mister, how can we get a cool job like this?" And I said, "Well, you just got to study, learn electronics, and it's not as cool as you might think, because after so long a time, it becomes work." Oh, thanks, Bob. It was different, I will say that. I self-taught in electronics, self-taught in computers, bought my first home computer in 1978, and I still have it, and it still runs, although I don't really use it for much because it's really primitive. We really ought to. Well, I've always thought that, Bob. I didn't work very well in a learning environment. It didn't make sense if there was a teacher sitting up there explaining it to me. Give me a book with instructions, and I got it down pat. Oh, that's cool, Angela. Anyway, we got to kind of wandered far afield here. So if anybody has any things they would like to see me talk about, or any things we could argue about, or whatever, like what's the best ride, what's the best restaurant, what's the best park, what's the best hotel, I could give you a lot of things about those. I've stayed at a Timex Sinclair with 8K of memory. Wow, Ross, that's amazing. I had an Apple II that had 16K of memory. Disk drives hadn't been invented for personal computers yet, so you had to save all of the software and your data out on a cassette tape. And boy, was that always a nightmare. Yeah, is that how you learned how to build Epcot in your yard, Bob? I keep waiting for you to do another Illuminations video. Um, I've stayed at almost all the hotels. I have eaten at almost all of the restaurants. That's kind of our bucket list, is to stay in every hotel at least one night and eat at every restaurant. Uh, some of my favorite restaurants would be, well, Victoria and Albert's. It has to be at the top of the list. It's very pricey, but it is the most amazing meal that you will ever have in your life. We've done it 3 times, and really kind of want to go back. We've eaten in the main dining room. We've eaten in the Victoria room. I really want to go one of these days and eat back in the kitchen at the chef's table. Other favorite restaurants. Some of them are kind of silly. I mean, I love Sci-Fi Dine-In. Only because I'm of an age, I remember going to the drive-in and watching all those movies. Okay, that sounds good, Ross, but that's out of my price range for a day or two anyway. I might go to the Four Seasons for dinner. Now, I might be able to swing that. Sci-Fi Dine-In, I love. Cape May is pretty good if you're into seafood. Geez, I really should have had a list of restaurants in front of me if I knew I was going to talk about this. I was kind of just making things up as I go and figured we would see how it worked out, and if anybody stayed till the end to listen to me. Yeah, we've done Cape May both for dinner and for breakfast. I think the dinner's better, although at Breton. Hey, there you go, Ross. That's one you've got me on. I have never been there. We haven't done any of the table service restaurants in Mexico, Japan, or China. I think we've hit at least one table service everywhere else. The French restaurant is really good. The Moroccan restaurant, I wasn't really thrilled with the food in Morocco, but the belly dancer was kind of cool during dinner. But don't tell Lori I said that. Or wait a minute, I guess she could be watching even though she's at work. Uh-oh. Sorry, dear. A lot of the restaurants at the hotels are amazing. Yachtsman Steakhouse, if you like steak. Although better than Yachtsman, I think, is Boathouse after we went there. We ate there, not this last trip, but the trip before. And I had a filet that was covered in lump crab and béarnaise sauce, and it was just to die for. I can't think of any else off the top of my head. If you guys want to throw a restaurant out, I'm sure I can discuss it. Favorite rides? God, there's too many to count. Different than most people. My favorite ride probably at Epcot has to be Mission Space. Test Track is awesome. Don't be wrong, but Mission Space on the spinning side. I mean, I've done both sides. The orange side is the one I prefer to go on. When that centrifuge spins up and that gravity hits you, it's just unbelievably realistic. Now, I've done Whispering Canyon, Ross, but never for breakfast. We always go for dinner, and not that we don't want to enjoy the show. Well, I figured you were going to have whatever your favorite ride, Bob, was. It's going to be an Epcot. Asking for ketchup and stuff like that. But when it's just Lori and I, sometimes we ask for a table out back that's kind of out of the main dining area at Whispering Canyon. It's much more laid back. It's a good meal, though. Here's a good question, Bob. Which do you like, the Soaring we have now or the Soaring that we used to have? Well, yeah, I've seen that video, Bob. But I like the new movie quite a bit. I have a little trouble on Soaring, depending on what row I'm sitting in. I really don't like heights. And if I'm sitting in the middle row or the back row, I'm pretty okay. If I sit in the front row that gets up the highest, that one just bothers me a little bit. I don't know how my daughter ever talked me into going on Tower of Terror, but I have done it. And I know Lori said that I was white as a sheet when I came off of it. Never have tried Rock and Roller Coaster. I think that's the only ride in studios I haven't been on is Rock and Roller Coaster. I've been on every ride in Magic Kingdom except for Splash and Astro Orbiter. I think that's the only two I have missed, along with the bucket list of every hotel and every restaurant I really would like to ride. Ride all the rides, even though they bother me a little bit. It's a matter of if I just don't have to wait in line, maybe that would make it easier. The longer you stand in line, the shakier you get because you're sitting there and you're watching it and you're hearing people screaming, and I don't know about that. I mean, I don't fly because it's high off the ground, although that's stupid. Maybe I will get over that one of these days. That's what I need. All of you guys can be my therapist so that you can cure me of my fear of roller coasters and rides that are up high in the air. How about that? Hopefully you won't charge too much an hour. David Wright. How amazing. That's my brother-in-law. I didn't know you paid attention to my live streams. Thanks for coming, by the way. I'll have to tell Lori that you checked in. Well, yeah, I'm at work too. This is what I do for work, is talk on the internet. But I don't get paid for it. I do want to give a shout out to Rob Fuzz. I thought it was pretty amazing that he got monetized this week. And good job, Rob. He has a lot of amazing content, and he really tries to help everybody out, all the smaller channels. Anyway, I really ought to draw this to a close here at some point. I've got to go out in the kitchen and replace a light switch that broke last night so we can see what we're eating. Bill, there's a secret. A few martini. I'm not a big martini drinker, Ross, but maybe straight shots of Jack Daniels, that might work. Got a light switch to replace in the kitchen, and I really have been kind of crossing my fingers that the mail wouldn't come because Rob Fuzz, welcome. I was just talking about you. Congratulations on getting monetized. Good job, man. When the mail comes, I have 3 creatures that greet the mail lady at the front window, and it gets very, very noisy in here. Between you made 9 cents. Awesome. You can retire. Excuse me. I need to turn on my Christmas tree lights. Alexa, turn on the living room light. Oh, much better. Now it looks like Christmas in here. Well, maybe I'll get there one of these days, Rob. I said quite a bit earlier in the stream. I'm struggling to get to 300. I'm at like 234 or something, and I kind of promised everybody that I would maybe have another giveaway when we hit 300. I got a couple of things behind me in this cabinet is, oh, well, thank you. See, I might try to do a live stream more often, maybe something a little regular. Like I said, yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Ross. Mine heard me keep talking after I told her what to do. I really shouldn't do that on camera. I apologize. Anyway, this cabinet behind us is just one of two of our Disney collectible cabinets. And I think I'm going to pick, we have a bazillion Disney Beanie Babies in that cabinet. And I think some of them may be duplicates. I may pick one of those to give away. Also have some pass holder stuff. When we go and there's pass holder stuff, free pass holder stuff, obviously I get one and Lori gets one. So we have some spares. So anyway, if I get to 300, we'll have a big giveaway, and we'll see what we can find to give away. It's always a lot of fun. I always love when channels have giveaways, even though my luck is terrible and I never win anything. Anyway, we've been going now for a half hour. I'm sure Rob's probably going to be going live here at 4 o'clock, I think. Isn't that your normal thing, Rob? And I know a bunch of others. I'm looking forward to Josh and Jenna. I'll be on there and probably say hi to a bunch of you. Oh, hey, you pack mule. I'm right. You just subscribed the other day. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for showing up. 4:30. All right. Everybody go check out Rob Fuzz at 4:30. Yeah, gotta love Frankie. I may try to get on yours. I was got to put a new light switch in a kitchen, and depends on how long that takes me and whether or not I electrocute myself. I may try to catch at least part of it. I'm sure everybody has seen the notification for Resort TV 1. Looks to be an exciting weekend for them. Although he does so many live streams, it's really interrupting my television watching, because I can't get any television shows watched while Josh and Jenna run. What's your favorite Christmas movie, Rob? Excuse me. I don't know what the weather is like where everybody else is, but it's kind of crummy here today. It's been spitting rain all day long, and if I look at my watch, it says it's like 47 degrees outside. So it's not quite wintertime, but it's also not Orlando. Oh, okay. Favorite? Well, if you asked my wife, I know exactly what she would say. It's going to be It's a Wonderful Life. I dearly love It's a Wonderful Life. Maybe I should go on your channel and discuss this. I love White Christmas. I really like. Oh, is it? I'm sorry, Ari John. So you guys going to get wet? They might cancel the fireworks if it's storming really bad. Where was? Oh, yes, the Scrooge story. But I'm not a fan necessarily of the new ones. I really, although with the last one I saw that I really liked was with George C. Scott. Well, that's good, Richard. Got to stay dry. Are you going to be with them tomorrow night? Anyway, I kind of got off, and it's really hard for me to stay on subject when I do this. If I'm just sitting here talking with you guys, maybe I need to come up with a script that I could follow. Now, doing it off the cuff is much more fun. Well, that's pretty cool. I think this is the best I've ever done. Viewers versus likes. 4 Christmases. I don't think I've ever seen that one. Anyway, I've got 13 people watching right now and 12 likes. That's the first time it's almost come out even. Normally, I'll get much more viewers than I get likes, especially when I go out to the 500 and do the qualifications. We had I know that video's had like over 3,000 views, probably the best video I've ever put up. All the rest of mine are much less than that. Although I do have one video that's closing in on 1,000 views. Anyway, it's been a half an hour. I think I'll stop it here. Thank you all a bunch for coming. If I'm not too boring, maybe I'll make this a regular. Vince Vaughn and Robert Duvall. I'll have to check that out. If you weren't too bored, maybe I'll make this a regular thing. Maybe not once a week, but maybe once a month. If anybody has any suggestions of things you would like to discuss with me, or hi, Mickey Bunch, no problem. Glad you could make it. Better late than never, as we say. If you have any suggestions on things we can discuss, whether you want me to talk about it, we can talk about it in the chat. Leave a comment, and whether you watch live or if you watch this on replay. Thank you, Ross. You too. Leave me a comment and give me some subject matter, and I'll see what I can make up to talk about. Anyway, thanks a lot, you guys. We will see you later, and it looks like using the computer is a success. This has been an odd production. Thanks for watching. I don't know how to turn it off. Oh, there we go.